Good day, friends. This is a voice-only video because a face is just a distraction. First of all, thank you for being here. Your presence is noted and very much appreciated. The importance of self-awareness and avoidance of being shallow and superficial. What is self-awareness? Self-awareness was first defined as that at a given moment, people can focus attention on the self or on the external environment. When we focus our attention on ourselves, we evaluate and compare our current behavior to our internal standards and values. We become self-conscious as objective evaluators of ourselves. In other words, when you focus on yourself rather than your environment, you compare yourself with your standards of correctness. These standards of correctness specify how you ought to think, feel, and behave. They are essentially your values and beliefs, otherwise known as your ideals. You feel pride or dissatisfaction depending on how well your behavior matches up with your standards of correctness. If you're dissatisfied, you might make changes to your behavior to better align with your standards. For instance, you might note feeling of discontent in your current role and recognize your value creativity, but don't have the opportunity to exercise that passion. That dissatisfaction could lead you to pursue other creative outlets, changing your behavior to fit your standards. Self-awareness, then, is a fundamental tool for self-control. Do not skim the surface of your existence. Own the truth of your emotional condition. We can try to manage things that we are aware of. Those aspects of our lives of which we have no awareness of are the ones that manage us. We are, and always will be, slaves of the situations of which we are not aware of. When we finally own the truth, we free ourselves from those circumstances that are still evidently there, but our awareness makes less engaging, less enslaving, and less controlling of our lives. Self-awareness is the ability to focus on yourself and how your actions, thoughts, or emotions do or don't align with your internal standards. If you're highly self-aware, you can objectively evaluate yourself. You can manage your emotions, align your behavior with your values, and understand correctly how others perceive you. There are a few steps that can be helpful to become more self-aware and, in turn, a more serene person. Try asking yourself what instead of why. Do this because the why is always past-oriented and prone to look for reasons for failure. Why is just a rumination of what caused the failure in the first place. If, instead, you can concentrate on the what of an issue, you're going to be prone to look for solutions, future ways to reach your goal. In general, what questions are far more productive than why questions. Like mentioned in our video number 16, the correct situation in which to place ourselves is in solitude and silence. Self-reflect in insight towards awareness is an activity best performed in silence and alone whenever possible. Look to give yourself at least 30 minutes of personal time, free from distractions, in which to meditate and look within you. Examine your day, your behavior, and your reactions. Be mindful. Mindfulness allows you to be present with yourself and observe your thoughts in a non-judgmental way. What better way to become self-aware than focusing non-judgmentally on you? Mindfulness forces you to focus on yourself on purpose, intentionally, in the present moment. Next time you're feeling frustrated at work, use mindfulness to check in with yourself. What thoughts are going through your mind? How are you feeling? Simply being present enough to acknowledge your thoughts, feeling, and emotions will help you become more acquainted and better at recognizing them properly within yourself. Listen. Listen to yourself and listen to others. Become a better listener. Listening, by the way, isn't the same as hearing. Like mindfulness, the practice of listening takes purpose and control. Listening to the important people in your life should give you a true sense of how they perceive you. Remember, we are trying to become more self-aware, and at times, those nearest us see what is invisible to our own eyes. do not brush it off. You can translate those listening skills to yourself as well and become better at understanding your thoughts and emotions. Listening to others and yourself is critical to becoming self-aware. It is great to introspect, but we have to check in with others as well to gauge our impressions that we are forming of our self-awareness efforts. It translates in not just skimming the surface of your actions, but on a deeper analysis of our motives. Why is it that we do what we do? I believe that we should look in great depth and detail at our behavior and our actions if we are to fully benefit from this insight. Self-awareness is like a roadmap. It helps us to navigate our path in life. We should allow ourselves periodical stops to analyze how we feel, if we are happy, where we are in our life journey, what makes us feel good, and what we don't appreciate about how we go about living. Regular moments of self-awareness grant a chance of corrective changes. If we were to embrace a shallow life, none of these words would mean much to us. But what a waste of a life that would be, wouldn't it? Living in the shallow may be coasting through life on autopilot without full engagement. Often, people remain observers of their own lives instead of active participants, and sometimes even numb themselves to avoid experiencing hardship or being fully connected in a relationship. That definition is the exact opposite of what this channel is all about. Friends, let's engage and be alive. It is one life and one life only, and it's ours. Make it count. This is motivation and inspiration in the dark, and that is all I have for you today. Thank you. If you appreciate this channel, please consider subscribing.